Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Susan Lynn. I'm a psychic and a medium, and today I'm super happy to have my good friend Sibyl Harmony with me. If you guys are not familiar with her, please check out her YouTube channel. Her YouTube and her website are sibylharmony.com. It's her website. She's an energy healer, and I can seriously vouch for her energy healing, and she's an awesome psychic medium, all the above. How are you doing, Sibyl? Thanks for joining me tonight.
Oh, I'm thrilled. I'm delighted to be here with you. This is awesome. And so I was looking forward to it.
Yes.
So, yeah, love doing these shows. And thank you for having me on your show. I'm honored.
You're welcome. It's always good to hang out with you.
Well, you're on my show too, because we're live streaming on both, right?
Yeah. I hope so. So here, you guys, we've already talked about some interesting things backstage. I don't want to forget to mention them right now, because I think we're going to be taking your questions live. This is what we do. So put your questions live in the chat. If you're watching the video of this, then you can, on the comments, when it's interesting, you can swipe comments over and you'll see the live chat if you're watching this video. So you can actually watch the video and the chat even after the video is done and you're watching a replay. Okay, I want to talk about Judge Cannon, because she just did some crazy Judge Cannon things that she does, where she said, I'm delaying this case because of the SEPA problems. You guys, the SEPA is the secret documents that, they have to handle because, well, allegedly Trump took them, stole them, whatever. So, the attorneys need to look at them. So, but the bottom line here is that Judge Cannon herself is the reason why the SEPA documents are delayed. And now she's just basically taken this court case off of the docket. So I was talking to Sibyl about this, and it's interesting. And I love doing these collaborations because I find out that I'm thinking the same thing they're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. And then we kind of figure out what happened together, which is actually a lot of fun. I got that Jack Smith is going to go around her. I've been predicting this for a long time, maybe a year. I don't even know, from the beginning, that Jack Smith was going to go around her, through her. She was going to be removed, step down. Something is going to happen. He's not going to put up with this. He just has to build his case against her. And Sibyl, you thought the same thing, correct? Independent of me, we just discovered we thought the same thing.
Yes, I see. I mean, I always saw her like she's sitting there in her judge chair and two guys come. I don't know if they're actual people or if it's a metaphor. The angels come and they take her arms and like, excuse me, ma'am, it's time to go. Like, you are being removed. Now I'm seeing that she has this pile of documents and she's there and she's looking at these like, what? And then they all go flying all over the place. And she's all, all the documents. And she's being drugged by her foot. She's kicking and screaming. Not literally. They're not.
No, I know this is a metaphor, but this is
metaphorically. And she's being removed because, like what you said earlier, is he has compiled enough evidence, documentation. He's very detailed on it. Experienced prosecutor, and he knows that he needed. That's what counts in court, is the documentation, the evidence of all this that she has done. And so I do see her being removed. Yeah, going around her, removed. Yeah.
However it happens, we don't care, because spirit it's like water finds its own way, right? It may not go the way you think it's going to go. It's going to find its own way. Jack Smith is going to find his own way. This man was in The Hague. He's used to running down people, no matter where they are. And he's just like a dog with a bone. He's not going to give up. Now, the other thing that Sibyl mentioned that I think is important to mention here is that she didn't see, well, I'll let you say it. You didn't see about the court cases.
What did I?
The other court cases, you didn't see.
Oh, right.
Jack Smith's court case with the DC. You don't see DC or the
it could.
Judge Cannon.
I don't see Judge Cannon's case going through before the election. I feel like she's completely stalled it and screwed it up enough. Now they're going to have to remove her, get somebody else at some point, and I don't see it happening before. I mean, it's not likely before the elections. I hope I'm wrong. Do you see it happening before the election?
I see cases happening before the election, but let's talk about it, because not necessarily Trump cases, because this is what we were talking about backstage, right?
Right.
What Sibyl was saying was the 2 Trump cases, not the one right now, not the one with Mershon, but there's 2 other Trump cases. Well, not talking about Fani, but the 2 other ones. She's not sure they're going to go before the election. Now, I feel like that's going to be the case. I really feel like it is going to be the case. You guys, the spirit guides have said this for a long time.
I feel like January 6th could.
You think, okay, January 6th can. So specifically against Trump or against all the whole group of them?
Is that case against all of them?
I don't know, because I'm feeling like Trump could be out of commission. Trump could be cuckoo for Cocoa Puff, or he could be, the big one. I'm going, I mean, I just don't see him lasting to November. I just don't see it. I've never seen it. So that could also be why some of these cases, you're seeing some of these cases not going, because what is the point of having him go? What is the point of that? The man is incapacitated completely, or he's passed over, right?
Yeah. So there are other people responsible for January 6th besides just Trump. There is already people indicted in Arizona. There's the case in Georgia with other people, even though that's being delayed. I feel like Fani Willis will be able to stay on that. We could look at that more, but I do feel when you say you see cases happening, before the election, I agree, but I don't know who that Trump is there.
Right. And this is the case. This is the question of the hour, Bess. And I've read on this. What will happen to these cases if 45 isn't on earth or in body or mind? And what the guides told me, and I'd be interested to hear what Sibyl has to say about this, but what the guides told me when I read on this months ago was that he's going to be a part of it, in the sense that he has evidence against him. I mean, it's going to be like, okay, here's Trump's voice. Here's his email. Here's his text. Even though he's not on trial, his evidence is going to be used against Meadows or against, Stone or Gates or whoever it is, right? So in that way, I think he is going to be a part of the case. Now, I don't think he's going to be charged if he's dead. I mean, I can't see them doing a case against a dead man, but what do you get, Sibyl? We're in such crazy times right now. Anything could happen.
Yeah. It's like nothing. So I wasn't shocked when Stormy Daniels got on that. We'll talk about that later, but I'm like, why am I not shocked and surprised? I'm just like, okay, wow. All right. Next, I'm like, what's happened? Okay. I saw you did a really great video the other day about that. When you went, that's the appropriate reaction. I'm like, have I become jaded from all this stuff? I'm like, what? I was just watching it.
It is
I was watching January 6th and I was like, I knew that was going to happen, but okay, now it's happening. Okay. All right. So, okay. So we're back to will the cases go through and be tried, even though he's maybe mentally incapacitated or ill or not even here? I keep hearing that it's about his legacy, his presidency. See, this case that's in New York now is about he was corruptly elected. Right. Okay. There's more cases coming up too, because did you catch that in one of the people who testified said that they were also he was doing these fake stories, the tabloids or something, and doing stuff with business records. And they also paid off the polls and rigged the polls.
Right.
I'm like, wait, what? They did what?
Right.
So there are more cases. But so is he legitimate? Is his legacy? And I don't know if that can change anything or all that he did, but
it could.
Legacy.
An illegitimate president, it could. The question is, does Biden do the powers that be have the guts, the wherewithal to make him an illegitimate president? Because then think about it. If he's illegitimate, then they could go and I think rescind all those pardons. Just imagine if all the pardons disappeared overnight.
And what about the Supreme Court justices he appointed?
Right. Exactly. What if everything that man touched was rescinded and we just moved the clock back, so to speak?
Yeah, it's kind of almost like it's almost like they need to make an example of like, if you plan on intending on hijacking America and sliming us and all this, you will be held accountable and reversed. Right. The stain on our, I mean, I was shocked at the sliminess at that case that's happening now. Yeah. I just was like, what?
Yeah.
For some reason, the spanking didn't upset me. I was like, oh, okay, we kind of knew. Okay, I want to talk about that again. We'll talk about that. We're still on the cases because there's so much happening. It's hard to keep up with it all. Okay, but yeah. So I feel like it's his legacy.
Okay. All right.
Is, was he legitimately a legitimate president?
Even a president, right? A legitimate president.
He used the country starting with R for entertainment purposes only to get elected. And he paid off porn stars and Playboy bunnies and rigged polls.
Right. Rigged polls. Obviously bought, stories to be against his opponent. Hillary Clinton bought stories that were going to be against him. So yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So I would just say, for me, watching that or reading that play-by-play of Stormy Daniels against Trump. So I think it's interesting because the spirit guides were saying to me, I saw the thing with Jimmy Kimmel just like the 30 seconds with the mushrooms. I didn't see the whole thing with Jimmy Kimmel. I didn't know the spanking was out there publicly. But here's the thing that I think we need to understand about that is that the defense never objected. Remember, Trump is telling everybody, I didn't have sex with her.
He says he didn't even know her.
Yeah, but Stormy
I never even met that woman.
Right. I don't even know who she is, right?
She's a prankster trying to make pictures,
money. Right? But here she is on the stand saying this happened, and no one is objecting. Therefore, that's in the record of law. That proves he lies right then and there. I mean, this is it was a different level of kind of politicization of it. But anyway, yeah, they knew they could object, but somebody wrote in a comment, and I swear this is true. It was almost like everybody was spellbound, right? When she was talking, she was talking so fast, and she kind of has an authority. Did you guys know she's a tarot reader? We for real have to have her on our channels.
Oh my God.
I would love to have Stormy. I mean, I don't read tarot. My God, somebody's got to have her on their channel.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Oh my God.
I would assume she would need to make some extra money after all this because she still owes Trump $500,000. But anyway, it's just fascinating to me. And I tell you guys, this court case is another nail in his coffin because he can't handle it. He can't, his body can't handle all of this talking bad about him and being locked up in the courtroom with nothing to do but color in his coloring book.
Yeah. And I feel like since, I mean, it was shocking when David Pecker was the amount of slime. I was like, oh my God, I didn't, you know, but it, she's coming back.
She's
And
coming back
she is
tomorrow.
going to slide down into, she's going to slide down into it. Oh yeah, she's going to bring it. She's going to go right down into the poop
She's
pile.
feisty, you guys.
Down, and then she's going to hit a home run. That's what I
Nice.
see. I'm going to slide down. I'm going to go into it and I'm going to hit her home run. Just she's powerful. And I kind of, there's part of me that kind of, I'm a survivor. I was never a porn star or anything, but I'm a survivor of abuse, of sexual abuse. And so I understand what it's like, how you can't, like going on shows and laughing about mushrooms and stuff, but she was traumatized.
Yes.
She was,
I think she was traumatized.
Bullied into doing that so she could get on The Apprentice.
Yes,
and this is a young, when she explained her story, it was kind of heartbreaking to me.
It was heartbreaking.
This was a young girl who was trying to make it in the world and had nobody there for her and did the best she could do. And if we think that we're better than that, any one of us in the same situation might have done the same thing. And so I really feel like she's very strong and interesting. She does tarot cards. She's probably very spiritual. And when I look at her, I feel like she has the strength about her. And I just had a lot of compassion for her. And I feel like the going on the shows right at that time, I don't think she recognized what really happens. And that happens a lot in sexual abuse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But women are bringing him down.
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's amazing with the base, like he's convicted of rape, assaulting a woman. All these women come forward. I can grab him by the you-know-whats. And it was vile. You remind me of my daughter and I want to have sex with you. I mean, it's just like, how sick.
It's sick.
And it's just, I feel like there's something, even in the most, I do feel like some of the base will just stay with him anyway, but I feel like there's cracks in the base now.
I do too.
And that's how you get out of denial in these relationships. You start, like, there starts to be a crack where you start to think, wait a minute, what? He did what? He said what? And so I feel like a lot of the independents are just like, oh no. Oh no.
Yeah, I agree with you. Kevin Loving Vibrations is here. He feels the jury found Stormy's testimony is credible. I think that's really important that they found it credible. So thank you, Kevin, for that. Oh, yes, Kevin, the healing medium is here. Both Kevins are in the chat. That's awesome. Thanks for being here. I totally agree with you. And it's so interesting, isn't it, that like you're saying, Sibyl, when you look at it like this, when she says, well, I came out of the bathroom and there he was on the bed, in his boxers and a t-shirt. These guys know that they have so much power. And what the guides were telling me was that Stormy had never had this opportunity before. I mean, this guy was on The Apprentice, right? This was her biggest break of all breaks. This could change her life. Mm-hmm. In a lot of ways, Stormy was just like all those actresses, but right before Harvey Weinstein, right? All those actresses that we watch and some actors that we watch on TV and movies had to have some kind of sexual thing with these people as the gatekeeper to get through. That's what Trump was doing. That's exactly what Trump did. So anyway.
Yeah, he's a menace to society. He goes around destroying people's lives. Even Michael Cohen, he didn't take some young lawyer and go, hey, look, guy, I'm going to show you the straight path and we're going to get some stuff done. He just takes people's worst instincts. That's I kind true. Of have, Cohen's coming on. I'm wondering if they're going to do, I heard that Karen McDougal is not going to testify, but Cohen's testimony is going to be explosive.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I hope they have Karen McDougal because I think she'll be very credible. I feel like she will, but I've heard people say that she's not going to be on there.
The legal people are saying she's not going to be on there, but I would not discount I wouldn't count that out. I really do think she might be on there. Right now I'm getting Friday. Um,
Yeah,
so,
for her might
but
be a surprise.
I agree. I mean, I think even though it's out of order, like they were saying, they're going in like chronological order. They're pulling the witnesses in chronological order. But I think that if they need her, they'll bring her in. Do you feel like, I know that I've talked to this with Kevin Chandler, Loving Vibration, Kevin, about this because we read politics together. Sibyl, do you feel like Trump could have an outburst? Do you feel like he could get angry? I mean, we saw him with Stormy muttering under his breath, and the judge called up the attorney and said, no, this is not going to happen, right? Like, this man is this far from going into the jail. But do you feel like Trump can contain himself? Or do you feel like he's going to shove something or say
I think
something
he's got
out?
a tranquilizer.
Well, apparently it wears off after a while. He only sleeps, I think, in the mornings, but he is a night owl too. That's the other thing. But even with the tranquilizer, he was awake a lot of more of Stormy's testimony than anybody else's.
Yeah, I heard somebody say we're on Mount Vesuvius watch. When's he gonna blow?
That's hilarious.
Mount Vesuvius watch.
That's hilarious.
So, I mean, yeah, if as we know him, it wouldn't be a surprise if he that's what he does, is he bullies and threatens people, and he shoved a foreign leader to get in, that he didn't like his policy. He's done this before, so I wouldn't be surprised. He is really doesn't have a lot of self-control, and he's very angry, and his brain doesn't work well, and I think he's on something hyping him up, and then at the speeches where he's like, whoa, and can't, and people are like, oh, so powerful. Yeah, I think you're on Adderall or something. And then they probably gave him a tranquilizer so he could sit there and take a nap, and he wouldn't. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised. It wouldn't be
right. I don't think he drugged her, Lynn. I think that this is a common thing that happens to women. E. Jean Carroll talked about this. When you're in this place where you don't know what to do, where you're kind of frozen, you freeze. Basically, she froze. And it's a thing with sexual assault victims, actually. Now she didn't say yes, but she didn't say no. So it's a gray area, right? But at first I thought she was drugged. I think she just made the mental calculation. I'm never going to have this opportunity again. It's just like the casting couch that you guys are talking about in the comments, that people understand there's a gatekeeper. It's generally a man, and they say you need to do XYZ if you want any kind of career. And he told her that, just like Weinstein said. So I think that's what her calculation was. She knew this was it. I'm 27. Pretty soon I'm going to be 35. I won't have this opportunity, right? This is my only opportunity to ever make it out, to be self-sufficient. But I have a hell of a respect for her. I really do.
I do too. I think she's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. This is an odd question, and you kind of have a little bit like my logo. That's cool. Robin says, does Trump have a double? And will Trump use him in the coming year? I think this is interesting because of this, because there's more energy around this than you think. For sure, Melania, there's a double Melania for sure, because as a photographer, her teeth don't match. You can blow up the picture and you can see that her teeth don't match. It's not like they're chipped or anything, but like your teeth are very specific to you. So this has energy because if Trump should flip the switch, right, and go cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, or go out with some kind of big destructive MI, but not die, I saw his MAGA people writing his name in on that ballot. Like they're not going to believe he's dead. They're not going to These are the people who don't believe anybody's dead. They believe Elvis is still running around. For the longest time, they thought Biden was dead, and it was crazy, right? So yeah, I could see them getting a double. just to keep the ruse going, just to keep the money going, right? Just to keep the money coming in. It's sad, but I can see that. How about you?
I thought that, I was thinking that the other day, like, he looks different.
He's already got a double. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Sometimes he looks different. And I don't know if it's just because he's on that Adderall.
He has lost weight. Yeah.
Okay. And then he kind of shrunk a little bit. I think Rachel Maddow said she saw him and he looked smaller and kind of weak.
Feeble. Yeah. Well, he looks feeble.
So, does he have a double? Could he make a double? I'm not really getting a yes or a no on that. What are you getting?
Well, I mean, if you're not getting a yes or a no, then I think it's undecided, right? Like it's I don't think he has one now, but I think that if he had a problem and he was sidelined, I can see these people a la Putin, who has many doubles, finding somebody and then just putting them on a screen every once in a while to keep the cash registers zing, zing, zinging. You know what I mean? I've escaped to Saudi Arabia. You know what I mean? Can you imagine?
Oh, okay. Not here running for president as a double.
No.
Please. Oh my God.
No, not really running. I don't see him running for president as a double, but I see him appearing for a TV screen ever so often and saying something literally ludicrous, like Biden's got me locked up. You know what I mean?
They could use AI to put his face and then make the mouth say, Biden's got me locked up in, send money.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying.
But it's not really a double. It's just a fake AI.
Right. It's AI, or even if they find a dude that looks like him, it's still a video. It's still not like he's trying to be a double in presidency. I don't see that. I don't see him having a double, but I am saying that Putin and Melania they have doubles. It's been proved. They found one of Putin's doubles somewhere and he admitted it. I mean, this is very well known.
Okay.
So it's got some energy around it, Robin. It's got some, but I don't see him on the campaign trail as a double.
Okay.
I don't think so anyway.
Yeah, I don't either. I agree with you. Yeah.
Okay. I want to, I don't know what Mona is talking about. If you're still here, maybe, or somebody else can help us understand what she's talking about. She heard bad news, but she doesn't want to believe it, that the orange guy could get away with everything. No freaking way. No, he's not going to get away with anything. He's not really, he's not going to get away. Is he getting away with special treatment? Yes. Should he already been in jail? Yes. Should Cannon have already finished that trial? Probably yes. Should Fonnie Willis not? I mean, yeah, he's gotten away with a lot of things, but he's not going to get away with, justice. He's not going to get away with getting away scot-free. Is that what you see as well, Sibyl?
Yes. And he's not going to get away with karmically.
Karmically. Okay.
Yeah. The debt is the time has come. There's always a time that comes. We all have to answer for who we are. And I believe and that's going to show up by him being held accountable. I mean, look at what's happening right now. It's never happened before. He's, like he's always saying, it's never happened. Yeah, it's happening now. Yeah, but he is. You're right. But I do believe he's not getting away with this. I think that's just. I mean, that was true. I understand why some people would say that, but it's no. We've gone past that now.
Yeah,
we're just on our way there. It just takes time for these things to. It's not going to happen overnight, unless he keels over, then I'll be.
Then if he keels over, then we need to do what we just talked about, which is we all need to be very vocal about the investigation continuing and that his presidency is illegitimate, so that, as you said, Sibyl, that this is a warning to future generations and future presidents that you can't do this. We're not going to allow you to do this,
Yeah. And all his cohorts.
And all his cohorts. And we can talk about that right now. Because what I've always seen, and I'd like to know what you've seen, but what I've seen is that once Trump kind of gets like sequestered, so the end of this trial with Judge Merchan, and he gets whatever he gets. I don't even want to say it because it pisses me off, but he might get house arrest. It pisses me off, but it might happen. Or he goes into some sort of facility. I don't see him going into general population Rikers. I see him going into a facility, like a hotel room that's made out of 27 inches thick concrete that can't get a cell phone signal. You know what I mean? That it's impenetrable. I always see him going into that. Now, because I feel like his health is so bad, he might get like house arrest or something like that. I kind of doubt it, but we'll see. But once Trump is like under control, like he's caught, that's when I see all these other Congress people and or Trump supporters getting their indictments. That's when all the other traps spring forth. For some reason, they want to get Trump like battened down, so he can't do anything. And then they go after everybody else. Do you see that?
Yes.
You see something different?
No, I agree with you on that. Yeah. That sounds about right. Okay.
Because we can agree to disagree. No
Okay.
problem with me. I have no problem with that.
Yeah, but he's not going to get away with this. He will be held accountable. I feel like he might be put in a facility, but I feel like he's going to, on this case, he's going to appeal it.
Okay.
And so can you be out on bail when you're appealing a case? That's what I don't know.
Typically they go to prison. Typically you go to prison and you're in prison while your case is being appealed for 3 months, 3 years, 6 years, however long it takes for your case to wind its way back through the courts.
Okay. So he's going to run for president from home?
Well, I think he can. I mean, apparently, you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he can run for president having been convicted.
Yeah, and even if he's in a facility?
Yeah.
I do feel like I do see this picture of him, like, when they handcuff somebody and they got the face up against the wall, they got the hands behind the back,
yes,
like that.
Yes.
I see him like that, and it has to do with this court case. So
nice.
He might have an explosion where they go like, Mr. Trump, you need to sit down, and he won't. And so they, when he realizes that he's going to lose, because he keeps coming out, and I think he actually believes that if he keeps saying, we're doing great, we're winning.
No.
And it's going good. And they're saying that on Fox News too. They're like, it's going good. The president's doing good. And even when that Stormy Daniel thing, there was like, wait, what? They're like, oh, she's, they didn't quite. At first he said, well, I've never seen her. I don't know her. And so they said, see, he doesn't even know her. And then they said, oh, it's not illegal. Having an affair isn't illegal.
Right,
so why are they making a big deal about this? Just happened years ago. So they can't even find one story. They don't even have the story. But will he end up in jail or house arrest? It does feel like something eventually. I just don't know how they do that on appeal. That's what I was concerned, because it doesn't feel, and it might be me. It just feels like we haven't gone over that road bump, that bump in the road where, okay, now you're going to jail or you're going to this hospital. Like, how are we putting the Republican Party presumptive leader of the Republican candidate in an institution?
While he's running for office, right?
While he's running for office. I'm just like, okay, how is that going to happen? That might be me, but I feel that's where he belongs. That's where I feel
Right.
like he belongs to
Right.
be in there.
That's
So
why
you're
I think
saying,
he's going to have house arrest. I think he's going to have house arrest with some caveats, meaning you give your parole officer, because he would have a parole officer, you give your parole officer a list of the events you're going to be traveling to.
yeah, there
Because
you
if
go.
you're on parole, you can do that, right? But when you're not at these events, you need to be in Mar-a-Lago, and he would have an ankle monitor. So
Yeah.
if this trial doesn't kill him, that will, although he'll try to make a lot of money off of that. Remember, he was saying, send me to jail, I'll be Nelson Mandela. I mean, I just want to personally,
The people are running out of giving him money, because then, and then they're like, wait a minute, all these millions of dollar
they're
fees.
running out of money, though. They're
Yeah,
running
the people
out
are
of
getting
money.
tired of sending $5.
That's right.
And yeah, I feel like that feels like it, because when people are on house arrest, you can go to work or go to the doctor.
Right.
So but you're monitored, or you have to check in. I'm leaving. You can go to the parole office or something. Yeah.
Right.
So
I think
yeah,
he'll
that
get
feels
approval to run for office, right? And then, but now if he nuts out, then I think Biden would demand a mental, exam. You know what I mean? I think that's a different story.
Biden can demand a mental exam.
Yeah, I think we're going to all have to demand, as the people of the United States of America. You know what I mean? Somebody asked, another good question is, I was trying to find it because it's an interesting question. Let's see. I don't know that I put it in my start, but somebody asked, do we think that Trump's kids know about his mental decline?
Which one? Well, oh my God, which one?
Well, you're going to have to pick one. I think it's sad that Eric is the one in the court, because I always saw Eric holding the bag. Like he's the kid who's the slow one. And he's like, wait, you want me to hold this bag? Okay, let me know when you come back. And instead the police come and he's like, oh, I have this bag,
Yeah, but it was connected to somebody who was testifying something about rigging the poll, something. There was something that Eric Trump was connected with, that he's working for, he's got funds from, that was testifying or being questioned in that case. So then all of a sudden he showed up. Now all of a sudden but he did hire his wife to run his campaign. So Eric is still trying to, help his dad and be there for his dad. He's very concerned. And yeah, he doesn't, does Eric Trump get that his father is in mental decline? He thinks things have gotten rough and his dad's a little weary, but I don't feel like he gets it.
I agree. I don't think he gets it. I don't think
he just thinks, oh, it's a rough time. He's just having a hard time.
Stress. It's just stress.
Yeah,
he's under stress.
He's
he doesn't believe it. Now, what about Ivanka? Because Ivanka is she sees things clearly.
She's the clearest head of all of them.
Yeah.
And has the most brain in her head that's working. And like when I look at her, she's looking at him going, what?
Oh God.
And she doesn't really want to be connected with it anymore.
No, she doesn't. She's gone. They're both gone.
It looks like she's looking at him like there's a staircase going down to the dungeon or the basement or somewhere not good. Yeah. And he's going boom, 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 boom down the stairs. And she's looking like, oh, that's not going in a good place. So she's like,
she wouldn't even call the 911 paramedics for that man. I swear.
It's painful for her in some way, but if she gets something out of it, it's okay. Like,
exactly.
Like she's showing me, I got a pearl necklace.
Get some
for all my pain and suffering, because pearls are something beautiful that came out of pain. but so she thinks that's fine because look what I got. We got, her and Jared got all this money,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
she got, and now she's not involved, and
Yes.
yeah, because she thinks it's fine because I got something. She's got, it's actually not good. I think she's embarrassed. You froze.
I think she's embarrassed too. I think she's embarrassed. So I think she knows his mental decline, and I think
Okay.
she wants all this to be over with. I think it's embarrassing her. She's not welcome in those, haughty, toddy circles that she used to
Okay.
run in. She's kind of been persona non grata. So she wants it all to be over. Now I think that Don Jr., I think he suspects it, but honestly, they're also scared. I mean, scared from he's a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Unpredictable energy. They're scared of that. Like, who wants to trigger him? Nobody, right? They want to just walk on eggshells and keep him happy. Give him another Diet Coke. Give him another Big Mac, right? So I think Don Jr. suspects it. But I've always seen Ivanka sort of, I see her staring at him. So I'm looking at her, like I'm looking from Donald Trump's viewpoint. I'm looking at my daughter and she's like, sorry, daddy. Like, sorry, daddy, like this. And he's just like, either drug off or whatever,
Yeah. Yeah. Don is Junior. I think you're right. He's terrified. He's really ungrounded. He's freaking freaked out. He doesn't know who he is. He's just like a big mouth running itself, but he doesn't have a self. And so he has to have, and he's afraid of losing money because like they're implicated in some of these cases. And then he's like, oh, and he's kind of freaking out. And he might be on, there's rumors, and I think it's probably true, of some kind of drug use with him, certainly probably some pills or something, or worse at times. But I feel like he's terrified and doesn't really know what to do. Kind of like why none of them are there except for Eric. It's just
and none of them were there, Sibyl. Nobody was there until the news started saying that one of those crazy serial killer people even had family in the courtroom, and Trump doesn't. Literally 1.5 days later, there was Eric within, so they're listening to the news. And then the Texas Attorney General was there for some reason. So they're trying to make it look like he's got support. That's why Eric is there. I'm telling you, Eric is the one that everybody just kind of craps on, and they get him to sign all the things that he's going to end up having to, really be in trouble for. Exactly. Give it to Eric. He'll do it. Right. That's it. Jeffrey Dahmer. Yes. Thank you. Even Jeffrey Dahmer had family in the courtroom and Trump doesn't. And so he's reading this stuff and he's like, well, I need family in the courtroom. You're never going to see Ivanka in that courtroom. Not in a million years.
Yeah. Or Melania.
No. God, no. I mean, if she gets paid. Let's talk about Melania for a minute, because what I've always seen with her, and I mean, the guides won't even talk about it. This is the way it is. We're not taking questions at this time. So they always tell me she's his handler. There obviously there's not a lot of love in this relationship anyway. She was paid. She got her prenup, she had her boys, she got her money. But I feel like it's even bigger than that. To me, she's his handler from the country, our country, or whoever it is that's, controlling him. And she is just his handler. Like, she doesn't have to live with him. She lives in New York. He lives in Florida. She doesn't have to live with him. She doesn't even have to see him, but she does have to stay married to him. She does have the ability to show up and take care of him if she needs to take care of him. And this is what I've literally seen that. I've seen that if she needed to, she would be the person that would go and take her fingernail and take the poison out and I'm not kidding you guys. This is what I've always seen. I've always said this.
Wow.
I could be crazy as a loon, but this is what I've always seen.
Okay. Well, it
So
may be very well what people are thinking and possibilities of things that can happen, and it could. And what I'm seeing is I was seeing him in like some kind of hospital situation or at a doctor's office, and for entertainment purposes only, somebody injected something into the drip line.
that would be Melania or Ivanka or a woman.
When I look at Melania, I see her like relaxing. She's all comfy and cozy, and she's looking at him, and she's giving him the big, how do we say it? Can we say it? Finger?
Yeah.
That.
I'm telling you.
And she's like, this to you, Donna. And when she's doing that, it's not really her hand. There's somebody else.
Oh,
there's something. I think now that you said that, because when people say things, I can see the energy of it.
Yeah.
And so now that you're saying that, I think you got this pegged. I think she is a lot of the darkness that came in and is in cahoots with the whole oh my God. Yeah. This is wow.
So if he strays too far off the mark, you know what I mean? If he stops doing what he's supposed to be doing, which is chaos, there's not much he can't not do. I mean, they don't care whether he wins or doesn't win as long as he's creating chaos. But if he needs to go, she's the interlocutor. You know, she's the person who makes it happen.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Interesting. You said you saw her hand, and that's when I was seeing the hand, but the hand doesn't look like her own. It's something else or something. Yeah. Very dark. Wow. That would explain why she's so secretive and really, really dark. Wow. Because I remember people were saying like, oh, poor Melania, she's stuck with this bully and he's cheated on her and all this stuff. But I was like, yeah, I just didn't buy that. I don't feel sorry for her at all. She's, oh, wow. That's amazing, Susan. Yeah, I think wow.
So we should change the subject. That is dark, but it is, you know, he's a useful idiot. That's what they're saying to me right now. And that means that you have to be useful. You know, if you're not useful anymore, then, you know, if your car's not useful, you get rid of it and get a new one. Right. So he's a useful idiot. So
yeah, I also feel like she really just does not like him.
No.
Because she thinks he's stupid. Now, when I say he's stupid, he's clever. He's clever like a con man, or he's clever like a gangster. He's clever as a scammer. He's not intelligent or wise.
Right.
So he's not educated. He's not thinking of the good of all. He's not a high-minded thinker, but he's clever like a con man. So he knows how to do that. Yeah. But I think she thinks he's an idiot. I don't think she likes him at all.
No, I think she hates him. I think she hates him.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about
he smells.
She had a baby with that man. I mean, what was that about? Why would, you know, so I don't know why.
To have the air, because she has the air.
She could get his money. Well, I guess she didn't realize. I mean, she's not that smart. If she thought he was really, this man had so many bankruptcies by the time he married her. Really?
Yeah, but but she didn't have anything until what?
Something weird about that baby. Well, that's true. Anchor baby. That's true. She got her citizenship. That's true. Well, she got her citizenship because she's a genius. She got a genius citizenship. I mean, you can't make this shit up. We're going to be the kids are going to be reading this news and be looking at us like, you were alive when all this went down and you didn't do nothing. I mean, I'm like, I have no excuse. I lived in Texas. Don't talk to me. I was under a spell. Don't talk to me. I have no excuse. Anyway, we're saying that he's connected to Russia. Absolutely. What's that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
Einstein music. Yes.
the only thing he hasn't done is shoot somebody yet on Fifth Avenue right in front of everybody. But everything else, he's already done everything else.
All his other campaign promises have been fulfilled.
Yeah.
That's so sad. Okay, we can move on from that. Yeah, that because people, again, like you're saying, people are always feeling sorry for her, and I'm like, no, don't feel sorry for her. She's literally like an agent. You know what I mean?
Well, she came over and she was vulnerable, and she needed and she had an anchor baby. She needed him, and then at some point, whenever all this happened, then that changed things.
I think she was a honeypot. I think she was sent to get him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, because remember, Trump was going to Russia for those world pageants, those women's pageants. And remember, he would go into the dressing rooms and all the women were dressing, and he said he could do it because he was in charge of it. Yeah. Listen, you guys, this Russia thing, we should talk about this. This poor army guy met a woman online from Russia, and he went to Russia. He is an army. He's active duty. I think he's a staff sergeant. I mean, he's not a dummy. And well, now Russia's got him and says that he broke some kind of law. These are honeypots. This is how they get control of people. Honeypot is, a woman or a man or whatever it is. I mean, it could be a goat if you that kind of freak. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. Whatever trips your wire, you know what I mean? They're going to get you. So I really feel like he went there and they connected him with Melania. That's why she's his handler.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I get it. Okay. Yeah, you're right. So because they are strategizing and planning this a long time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Here's this idiot out there. They're like, he will be the one. That's
exactly.
They had him pegged.
They did a psychological profile. And they're like, perfect. This is the guy.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
And her parents, according to Linda B., her parents worked for Putin. She's not from Russia, but she's from a country that's very sympathetic to.
Right.
That kind of thing.
Wow.
Yeah.
You cannot make this stuff
an asset from the 80s. Yeah, I agree. And I think she was groomed from childhood. Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. So that's the deal with Melania. And I think that here's a question. Okay, let me just ask this question and we're going to move on. Let's just say, hypothetically, that Trump keels over, and let's just say that Biden says, oh, we need to have an autopsy and an independent autopsy from a naval, from the United States State Department, because we need to see what happened here. They find out, oops, he's got, I just heard ketamine. Now, ketamine is one of those drugs that they were giving away in his White House drug clinic for free. But so he could have, I guess, overdosed on ketamine. That's one way they could hide this, right? Because my God, it's perfect because they have the actual logs from the White House when he was in charge, when he was the president, of the White House doctor just giving drugs away, and ketamine was one of the drugs. So anyway, I was just going to ask the question is, do we think that Melania will ever be fingered? I don't think so either. And I always saw her leaving with Barron and going back to Europe. I don't see her staying in the United States.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Not welcome here. No.
Not welcome here.
No, that's and she doesn't really want to be here after that.
She doesn't want to be here.
But yeah. So if Biden has this done, but I feel like the way that that would happen for entertainment purposes only would be so secret and covered that you couldn't.
I mean, it'd be ketamine, and ketamine is like, it would make sense that he did it himself.
Yeah.
He accidentally took too much.
So a prescription, I feel like he's on prescriptions now. You know,
Well,
you
yeah, the
saw him.
Navy doctor was just visiting him in Mar-a-Lago.
Okay.
The doctor that was the doctor in the White House that the Navy just busted down in rank.
Yeah. So they give it like, oh, you need this to sleep on the weekend. So they'll already
Yeah.
get them taking
Yeah.
it. And then,
Yeah.
yeah, because I'm seeing that metaphorically, not necessarily literally, of somebody putting a chemical in to something medical.
Yeah. You're seeing it
And
metaphorically.
I'm like, how's that going to happen? Who's going to sneak in and then I thought, is the secret for entertainment purposes? I keep saying that only. Does the Secret Service like him? Do they want to stop him? I feel like some of them see all the stuff he's doing and they don't want to work for that guy.
No,
They
I
don't like
think
him.
at least one is being, it has a double duty.
Yeah.
It's like a spy.
Yeah. I feel like there's somebody on there
Yes.
who is not really
That's
on his side.
not on his team, so to speak.
So when the time could be right.
Well, you know, the United States has done a lot of regime change back in the day. You know, they've gotten rid of people. So, but I don't think they need to, because I think Melania, if we ever hear Melania visiting Mar-a-Lago, I would, you know, let's start getting our confetti cannons anyway.
Well, it may be coming through her, but they wouldn't have it be. It would be too obvious.
No, she would never catch. You're right. You're right. No, you're 100% right. She would never have her fingerprints on anything. She's a professional. I think she's KGB trained. She is a professional.
Yeah, because the hand I saw on a pillow, like on this bed with this comfy pillow, and she's laying there like, I'm all comfy. And then this hand comes out that's a man's hand. And the hand is giving the thing that I can't do on here. And I was like, what the heck?
Yeah, that's giving me the
because
chills.
She hates him. She'd love to do that to him.
Well, you know what? Supposedly, and I don't think this is I don't think this is gossip. I think this is real. She has a boyfriend in New York that was one of her body people, one of her body, you know, her protection people. So maybe he's the one that does it. I don't know.
And they're having a fully engaged relationship.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. That's exactly right.
All the way.
I just want to say we did talk about Cannon. I know you guys have joined late. We have talked about Cannon. In a nutshell, this is what Sibyl and I both agree with, is that Jack Smith is going to go around her, through her, over her. He is simply collecting the data he needs to collect so that when he goes to the higher court, he can get it done without everybody has to be so careful, because look, Harvey Weinstein just got off on a freaking technicality. Okay. We don't want Trump to get off on a technicality. So all the judges, all the prosecutors are all like super carefully dotting the I's. And that's what all Jack Smith is doing, is collecting enough data that you cannot overturn it. It's just too much information, too much data, too much evidence. So he's getting close, you guys. He's getting close to going over her, around her. Now, what Sibyl and I also saw, and what I've always seen, is I don't see Trump around. I don't see him around. Do you see him around in like November? I mean, do you see him like viable, walking around, campaigning? I mean, maybe you think of something different.
Okay, so I hear messages in songs, and I just heard this song, I Am Not Here.
What song is I Am Not Here? I love that song.
That can also
I want to play it every day.
That can also be when somebody's like checked out, they're not really with it, or they're not in their body, or they're unpresent. But I feel like in this case, that's more like I'm not here.
Right.
For what, you know, either. Now, I did see him, like, so the way my guides show it to me is like, there's a road, you're on a path, and some things are written in stone. And that's pretty much with the trajectory of, because you can create things with your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. You can change the path. If you get a reading, like, okay, so how can I change this reading? But with him, I see him like the paths that are open as he's going down the road. There's 1, 2, and 3. There'd be like some kind of institution, some death, or some kind of incapacitation. So there's another option where I see him in a wheelchair, just kind of like still holding on to like, they're mine. They're my documents. And they're not even real. It's like just blank papers, but he thinks because his mind is gone, he gets wheeled in a wheelchair to the documents case. I'm like, that is still going on? Like, how long is that case going to go on? It's like, they're mine. And he's just like wheeled from a hospital into a courtroom. So that answers the other case that where we were talking about, will he, if he's not here, will he be held accountable? Well, in that case, he would be wheeled into courts however they could, in a wheelchair, even though he's not quite, upstairs is not still there because he was poisoned or OD'd or had a stroke or a heart attack or whatever. So
Right.
That's kind of how I'm seeing it. But so the original question was, do I still see him there in November? Yeah, stay tuned. It doesn't look good. Whatever the choices do not look good. I don't see him winning. I definitely don't see him winning. But whenever I go to look at him as the candidate, I kind of think he won't even pick a VP, and that
Right.
VP would then probably step up and be the candidate. So it must be happening before June or July, even though he's having loads of fun torturing people and getting everybody to embarrass themselves or give away their power and, pull all these stunts or say all these things or, I want to be the next person that's almost hung. Maybe this time they'll succeed. I can be Mike Pence. I want that job. Really? Really? Okay.
It's true.
I'm like, who
No,
would
it's
want
true.
that job with him?
No, I totally agree with everything you've said, right? Like people have asked me, who's going to be on the docket? Who's going to be on the Republican ticket? I'm like, I don't know.
I don't
see it. I don't see anybody. I think
How
everybody's
can
going
there
to
be no one? There has to be someone. Maybe it's not decided yet, but how can there be no one? I was looking at that this morning. I'm like, I see no one.
I know that's what we all see, independent of each other. Like independent of each other, none of us can see anybody. That's goes back to that dummy, that double of Trump, right? Like if he can pretend like he's still good in Mar-a-Lago, then everybody's gonna, they're gonna write in his name anyway, or they're gonna vote for him. I mean, they're just gonna vote. His name is gonna be on the ballot. But if he doesn't pick a VP, I get the same thing. Like he doesn't want to pick a VP because in reality, he wants all the power to himself. And he's thinking, why do I need to pick a VP? I don't need to pick a VP. You know what I mean? But I've always seen Tim Scott, whoever the guy is, the 58-year-old virgin, I've always seen him being the one. But I don't think when I was listening to NPR talk about this yesterday, I got the energetic feeling that the Republicans cannot make themselves put a black man as vice president. They just
you can't. No, because then he'll be the president. That is not going to happen.
They cannot do it. And now you have Christy Nolan
not going to have a woman
killing all these animals and bragging about it. So Christy Nolan's out of it. So
and he does not mind. What? Sorry,
who's left?
I don't think. I'll be surprised if he picks somebody. But I mean, I feel like he has no problem with Christy Noem killing animals, except that other people don't like it. So,
right, exactly. Except for that, her number, he cares about the poll numbers. Her numbers went down. Yeah. I don't know, guys. It's gonna be. This is what we've all seen. I'm telling you, this is what we've all seen. If you guys in the chat have seen some psychics say something for sure is going to happen, let us know. But it's Trump is out. And I see the same thing Sibyl sees, which is like there's 3 or 4 paths. Like he's cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. He's had a stroke. He's dead. A heart attack. He's dead. Or he's incapacitated, like in a wheelchair, or really, I mean, to the point where everybody knows this man can't be president. Like he can't even, like I just see his mouth, like, he's kind of drooling. Like, I mean, it's sad. It's actually sad to see it. So he's out of commission.
And then in that case, he would be living in a mental hospital where you said you'd seen him, like some kind of sanctuary where you can get McDonald's, or they'll show pictures of Nancy Pelosi or Obama on the wall. Wow.
Or videos. I like videos a lot better. Hi, Donald. What's that woman again?
That's cruel punishment.
That's a nightmare. I need more trazodone. Give me some drugs. Oh, it's
Or
sad.
It would be Hillary saying, "Lock him up."
Exactly. You want a Big Mac, Donald? And she's a video of her eating one. Anyway, now we're being cruel. I'm being cruel.
Let's not do that. We don't.
Way down into the muck. She doesn't normally hang down here in the muck.
Yes. Well, no, we don't wish any of these things on him. I'm just reading the energy. I'm not wishing. I'm just saying.
No, I'm not wishing anything. I may celebrate it.
Could happen. If someone were being cruel, and I don't promote being cruel to anybody, really.
No.
And so that's not something
that
I would do, or that I want, or I'm promoting that we should do. I'm just looking at the energy, and that's it. It looks pretty.
It looks dire.
Yeah, it looks
like you wouldn't want to be him. You wouldn't want to be him. So here's a weird thing that hit the social media airwaves. RFK, Robert Kennedy said he apparently really said this, that a worm, he ingested some kind of worm and it ate his brain or something. I mean, I don't know, you guys. I mean, I just, this is what we have to look forward to this summer. I mean, if
I had a cup of tea,
I know, right? It's such a hazard. It's a hazard. So I don't think he's a good candidate for this. Now, I'll throw something wild and crazy. It's not as crazy as this, I will say that. But Walt Nauta, his his whatever they call it, I don't know what his valet, I guess is what they call it. Walt Nauta does worship the ground that Donald Trump walks on. I mean, he really has like a daddy fixation on him. You know what I mean? Like, he really does. Like, he's a little bit like Weisselberg. He's ready to go to jail. He's ready to go to prison. He doesn't care. But I would also say that Walt Nauta was really in deep trouble with the Navy for sexual harassment. And I think, and he was getting ready to be demoted and every other thing. And Trump was like, hey, that's a man that, you know what I mean? Like, we're two peas in a pod. So something crazy. I'm telling you, it's crazy, but Donald is crazy. I could see him saying, I'm going to have Walt Nauta as my VP. Is there any rule? Is he old enough? I think he's old enough, but is there any rule that the VP has to be college educated or be anything? Can Trump pick anybody? Like anybody? Could even pick Don Jr. I mean, what are the rules here? Because we all know that Trump is going to break all the rules. He doesn't care what the rules are.
I feel like he would. I feel like what's funny?
Nothing. Just this whole situation is funny. 35. I don't know how old he is. Thank you. Yes, 35 and born in USA. I don't know how old Walt Nauta is. Has to not be from the same state. Okay. I know, Carolina Worm. This is RFK, you guys, on social media. I don't know where just imagine what Biden thinks. Imagine what Biden thinks about all of this.
He was on NBC today. Well, Kennedy saying that he has a brain in his worm, a worm in his, a worm in his brain, and all these other health conditions that are. You could have seizures, or you could, all this stuff.
Think about the Kennedys. Think about the Kennedy family, what they'll be thinking right now.
Yeah. You
Oh,
can't
a
make this stuff
parasitic
up.
worm. Okay, a parasitic worm. It's
Yeah.
true, Sage. Give him ivermectin. Exactly. Why not?
Yeah. Um,
Oh,
yeah. So I feel like he would want to pick Walt Nada because Walt Nada is just submissive to him. He's not really attractive or bigger, or
he's
he wouldn't.
shorter, right? He's
Yeah.
a servant. He's like a valet.
Yeah.
He's a worker bee kind of guy.
Submissive to him,
Yeah.
and he
Oh,
wouldn't.
Nada was born in the Philippines. Okay. So
Okay,
he
that
so he
he's out.
probably couldn't be. I just don't know who he's gonna pick. I
Hey,
never
but
see
him,
him
who
picking
cares?
anybody.
He
Yeah,
breaks all the other rules. What?
exactly. Exactly. This is what Trump will do. He'd be like, I don't care. I don't have to follow your rules. Who's
Yeah.
gonna make him, y'all? Who's gonna make him follow the rules? How do we found out that our constitution is kind of not that enforceable some kind of way through Trump? You know what I mean? Like we don't even know how to enforce these things. Okay, let's switch to real quick to Fani Willis. We've been on for an hour and 10 minutes. We'll go just a little bit longer. I don't see Fani Willis. I don't know what Sibyl has gotten with this, but I don't see Fani Willis being disqualified. I know they want to disqualify her in the most they like they want it so bad, but I don't see them doing it. Do you see them disqualifying Fani Willis?
Mm-mm.
Now what they did was they took her case and they booted it up to the next level court. Now that's what they did. Now, the next level court is going to say, we're going to take a look at it. We're going to decide if the case has merits. So let's read on that, right? Like, do we think Fani Willis is going to get this case back to try it? The Trump case, is she going to get the Trump case back to try it in Atlanta at some point?
I feel like she does.
I do too. And I have to say that we might disagree on this, which is fine, but I heard October, which I think would be a very big surprise. But I feel like she might start this trial in October. You didn't see that though, right? You don't see that?
Well, let me look. I think there's a good possibility. Yeah. Yeah, you might be right on that.
So you guys roller coaster, seriously roller coaster, strap your little seatbelt in because we are going to be sideways. You know how those crazy roller coasters that y'all ride that I do not ride because I'm not crazy. That's us. We're going to be sideways, upside down, and we don't want to do that. So try not to be so in step with the news all the time because it's just going to be crazy. About the time, and this has been the energy, right? About the time you think it's over, it's not going to happen, or somebody's going to get away with it, it's to the edge.
Yeah.
And then something happens.
Sorry. Yeah. The thing with Fani Willis, before you get off that topic, is that so Trump threatened Kemp, the governor, that he was going to push charges against him for a fraudulent election in Georgia. So if all these people and that other guy, I forget his name, who got up there and said, we have to stop this, somebody's going to get hurt.
Raffensperger,
okay,
maybe?
Raffensperger, and he threatened Raffensperger,
Yeah.
and there was somebody else up there who was saying, we need to stop all this talk of fraudulent elections. And so there's Republicans in Georgia that stood up to Trump. Now, if they're stalling the case by Trump and their team are trying to stall the case by saying, oh, she's disqualified, let's appeal it, let's go to another court. But they can't let that happen because if he gets into power, he can prosecute all of them saying the election was rigged and you're all going down now because now it's my revenge.
That's
so
right.
They really don't so they're between a rock and a hard place. They don't want all these other Republicans convicted of election tampering and all that, Meadows and I think Giuliani. There were some other people in there, and a lot of them have already pleaded guilty. So I feel like we're kind of over the hump there. but they can't let this, they want this case to go forward, even though they're trying to kind of seem like we're on a side.
Oh, okay, I
stall
see.
a little bit, but we're not really going to take Fonnie Willis off the case. We're going to let this go forward, because if he wins and gets in there, they're all going down, because he's going to come after everybody.
True. It's true. That's a really good point.
Yeah.
It's almost like Cannon stalling, but not really killing it, right? It's the same thing.
Well,
they're trying to play both sides, I guess.
She is trying to win favor. She's paid off by
allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly, for entertainment purposes only. That's a little bit different. But in Georgia, they already threatened Raffensperger, was threatened on the phone. Then they said, oh, we won't have that as evidence. We'll just take that part out of the case, because they don't want attention on that. They don't want to go look like they're going against him, but they also don't want him to win, because then they're going to be.
That's such a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point.
So I do think that case could go forward. October, that would be great.
No, it really would be great. But I don't know if Trump is going to be viable. I mean, viable in all ways. So, like brain, health, I don't know.
The cases with the other people, though.
Yeah. Yes. And the guides told me a long time ago that Atlanta's ground zero, and I don't know why, except for that I think with that Rico case and with Fonnie's brilliant freaking mind, she's the only person that can keep track of all these layers and layers of, Rico is like, because you talk to this person, now you two are in on it, and you talk to this, so it's like a web, right? Yeah, I agree. And I think Lindsey is caught up in that, Lindsey Graham, but I don't see him doing time, but I do see him caught up in it.
Oh,
do you see him doing anything?
Lindsey Graham? I feel like he has to answer for something. He may have some kind of special preferential treatment because he's a is he senator or congressman?
He's a congressman. Yeah.
Okay. I feel like I see him standing there in court or some kind of hearing, and he's got some papers and he's putting on the table trying to explain, like, and here's that I didn't do it. And like that. Or a slap on the wrist. I don't see him in jail.
I think he states witness. I think he turns.
Oh, he'll turn. You're right. You're right.
And then he gets a plea deal.
He'll flip.
But they will slap him. They will slap him because Fonnie is not playing.
Yeah, he's an easy flip. He will flip.
He's a senator. My bad. He's a senator.
Okay, well, he will flip in, he's a flipper. He's already kind of turned on. He doesn't know really where he is. He just, whoever likes me, and then get me back in office. Please, please, please.
Yeah, right.
Let me stay in office, please. I wanted to talk more about what you said about when you were saying about that guy Cawthorn, or that the sex and the drugs and stuff in Congress, because I feel like that was happening a lot more. Yes, we had Jeffrey Epstein and other weird things going on, but I don't feel like it's happening with Biden in office. But anyway, that'll be for another day.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. I don't understand what you mean.
Like
Biden in office.
Are they having, because he said they were having cocaine orgies.
Right. The Republicans are, not the Democrats.
Oh, okay.
No, it was his. It
was
his.
I don't think you think they're still doing that?
The Republicans?
Yeah. Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I do. I do. Because they're all protecting each other.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, I just pulled a card. I got that.
You pulled one card and got the devil.
Well, I pulled some other cards, but my first one was like the women. Like, where are they getting these people, these women?
Oh, well, now you
That's
know.
what I was looking at, like, where are they? Is this from another country? Where are they getting these people? Because somebody knows something. Somebody's been abused or something's happened. They can't. I mean, unless they're just pay, and they could be paying people off. That could be, but you got to keep paying them because you don't want that story getting out.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
I don't know why I have an echo now all of a sudden, because I haven't had an echo
Well,
the
it's
whole
time
time we've been on. Is it you? Okay.
Oh, hey, I wanted to ask you about your classes. You're doing a class?
Oh, yeah. Let's talk about our classes and then we can wrap this up. I have a class on Archangel Magic with Afefe with Touched by Tarot. We're co-teaching it. It's coming up May 18th. It's only an hour and a half. It's only $39 and it's on a Saturday. You can see the link in the description of this video. And you have some classes coming up, right?
So your class is online?
Yeah, it's online.
Okay, yeah. I have classes coming up that are on my website, Sibyl Harmony. I have mine are a little bit longer than yours, but I have Manifesting and Your Life Purpose coming up June 8th.
June 8th? Wait, Manifesting Your Life Purpose?
Manifesting and Your Life Purpose. How to manifest.
Tell me more about that, because I need that.
You're already doing your life purpose. No, manifesting. Yes, manifesting. So we're going to be doing manifesting exercises. I'll send it to you. You'll see what we're doing. Okay, I can't really explain it. So we're going to be doing, sacred geometry and how to manifest and clearing our energy with calling in abundance and prosperity. And so, yeah, I'll send it to you. And then June 13th, I'm going to be doing mediumship.
Oh, nice. You're going to be doing mediumship?
Yeah, how to connect with your loved ones, or if you wanted to do that professionally. So, and then I have it's just a one-day class, but I have an ongoing mentoring group on Mondays from 4 to 5:30 on Zoom that you can show up for. And then in July, I have energy healing. So,
nice.
Lots of cool stuff. They're on my website. And it really helps our channels if you subscribe. It supports our channels. Like, ring the bell, and subscribe and share. If you like this message, get it out and share, and like Susan always says, take really good care of yourself. Get out and vote, but not yet in November. Volunteer at the polls. There's lots that we can all do. Share this stuff. Pray for, the candidates. Pray for Biden. I see Beau Biden around, Beau around Joe Biden, his dad. Beau that had passed is helping his dad. And it's kind of silly what I see. It's like, I'm so proud of my dad. It's like I see a magic carriage, the pumpkin that was turned into a carriage, and he's inviting his dad into the carriage. So, I also see his dad drive the carriage is being driven by these big ox with horns. So that's a symbol of prosperity. It's not fast moving. It's not a race car, but it is moving forward in stability and prosperity for our environment, for our economy. I see, Beau just very proud of his father and assisting him moving forward into this magical pumpkin that's turned into a gold carriage. So I guess that's kind of fun. Some things, the way my guides show me stuff, but yeah.
I love that. And pumpkins are fall. So that's October, going into November, which is the election.
Right.
So I like all of that. I love that. I mean, my guides do that too. Like sometimes they show me like Glinda the Good Witch, you know what I mean? Like, or that's how I know, like I'm about to get some like very cool gift or special thing. Right. So your guides they'll use things like that. That's cool. I love that Beau is with him. God knows Biden needs all the help he can get. I mean, just think about the landscape this man is president in. You've got this rogue ex-president who just thinks that no rules or laws apply to him, and all these Republicans that are basically Russians. I mean, it's a crazy, crazy time right now, right? So that guy needs a break.
Yeah.
Yep, he needs a break.
Yeah.
He's doing good stuff, though. He's doing good stuff.
Yeah, I always tell people I live in a house that's 120 years old when I moved in, I went up in the attic and I found this paper that says D-Day. They won or they invaded. And this house, I was told by the children, the families that lived in this house, that for 2 years this house was empty because the kids were sent to a friend's house. All the women went down and worked in the ammunition factories, and all the men enlisted. And so that's why I'm doing these videos, because I'm a healer and a psychic and a medium. I didn't know anything. I started watching politics when Obama was elected because I thought, I'm watching history. There's some reason I'm supposed to know something because I'm now doing these videos, but I wanted to do my part. And so that's why I'm doing this. And we're all in this together. We all have a part to play, whether you're sending prayers, good vibes, donating, working at a poll, driving people, like I heard you saying, Susan Lynn, driving people to the polls, or making phone calls. We all, it's time for everybody, all hands on deck. We can do this. We're seeing that we're going to win anyway, but it's a part, it's like being a part of this, of keeping and respecting our democracy. Our country is that we live in the best country ever. And it's, I love our country. Oh, we've made mistakes. We've made
mistakes, but now we're learning
really
from
bad
them.
mistakes. But
Biden is a different cut of a different cloth. I think he's really dealing with everything differently.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, I love everything you said, Sibyl. And I would just add to that you guys, after Trump is gone, which is really going to be months away, we still have to deal with all the rabid local, city council, mayors, governors, right? This is why we need to get involved. This is why we need to vote. This is why we need to help those kids, right? Go out there and join the kids that are protesting peacefully, right? Is because we have a lot of work to do. Just because Trump is going to be gone, that doesn't mean that the problem is gone. He spawned a lot of these creatures that are running around wreaking havoc. So,
and the disinformation from other countries polluting our social media, and a lot of these ideas that are just not who we are as America.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Okay, everybody. Thank you so much, Sibyl, for coming on. If you're not familiar with her, please go to her channel. I know you might be watching this on my channel. Please go to her channel, Sibyl Harmony, and subscribe, because she does amazing political videos. You're missing out on a really good source of information. Also, she does healings. You can tell how talented she is, right? So check out her channel. Thanks, everybody. You're welcome.
Are you still doing readings?
I am not doing readings right now. I am taking some time off. I'm going to be doing more classes, more events.
All right.
Today, they reminded me that I have to write a book.
Oh,
I'm so dense. Like, I didn't get all the clues. I just wasn't getting the clues. They were piling up. And I'm like, today I was like, I think they want me to write this book this summer. And I'm like, oh, shoot. Now I can see like all of the guidance that's been, the clues. I mean, it's just like over my head in clues. I'm like, oh, I got it. So I'm going to be busy this summer.
Awesome. I love that. Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, everybody. You take really, really good care of yourselves. We'll see you again real soon. Okay. Bye, you guys.